be back with you guys on Monday. All right, so let's look at the warm-up. It says determine whether triangle ABC is similar to triangle DEF and then explain. So remember there's two criteria. In order for figures to be similar, the corresponding angles must be congruent and the corresponding sides must be proportional. Or, as it says here, are the ratios of their corresponding side lengths equivalent? That means are they proportional? Okay, so first, are the corresponding side lengths congruent? Well, I see a mark here, and 2 here, and 3 here. So then that means, yes, they are congruent. Okay? Step 2, are the corresponding side lengths equivalent? Well, if the way I marked it, this would be a corresponding side to this one. So that would be 4, 6, and then 8 would correspond to 12, and then 6 would correspond to 9. And are those all equivalent? Well, if I simplify them, if I divide by 2 here, this would be 2/3. If I divide by 4 here, this would be 2/3. If I divide by 3 here, this would be 2/3. So yes, they are all equivalent. Therefore, these must be similar figures. Okay? All right, here is the key from yesterday's homework. Pause if there are questions that you guys need to go over. All right, so today we're going to use our knowledge of similar figures to answer questions and solve, okay? It says finding missing measures in similar triangles. In similar triangles, the corresponding angles are, hopefully you guys said congruent, and the corresponding sides are, hopefully you said proportional. You know, it's really hard to teach a lesson when there are no students in the class, which is what I'm doing right now. Because of this, you can use a proportion to solve for missing side lengths in similar triangles. All right, so here we go. First, you might want to get your highlighters again, so pause it if you want to take a second to do that. I noticed that they both have a right angle right here, and I also noticed that that's 53 and that's 53. So because of that, I can easily see my corresponding sides. I can see that X corresponds with 5 and 27 corresponds with 9. Guys, you need to do that on every single similar figure problem before you start doing any work, okay? Now, in order to solve for X, I'm going to set up a proportion, okay? And there's more than one way to do this. First, I like to start with X. That way I make sure I always get it. So X corresponds with 5 on the other shape. And then, because I started on the big one, I went big to small, then I need to keep sticking with that big one, which would be 27/9. Okay? Another proportion that I could do, though, is let's say I start with X and then 27. I kept it big to big. Now I move over to the small. I need the corresponding side that went with X. Then that would be 5/9. Either one of these, you guys, is going to give you the same answer. So I'm going to go back to here. I can simplify here by dividing by 9 to get 3/1. And then I know from here to here was times 3. And times 3 would be 15. Okay? If I use this one, then I could simply go from 9 times 3 is 27, and then 5 times 3 is 15. Still get the same answer. Okay? All right, let's look at this nested triangle. If you remember from yesterday, what is the first thing that I told you guys to do here? Hopefully somebody said unnest them. It doesn't take me very long. Okay, so I'm going to start with this small one right here, which is 6 and 3. Okay, but now on the big one, you guys, this is X, and then And but the bottom is how much? Hopefully somebody said 10 because it includes the whole distance, all right? Now I can set up my proportion. I like to start with my x. X corresponds with 3, back to the shape, 10 over 6. Or if I want to go within, x is with 10 on that big shape, and then 3 goes with 6. Guys, it does not matter which way you want to do this. 6 divided by 2 gives me 3, and 10 divided by 2 would be 5. If I use this one, 6 divided by 2, again, 10 divided by 2, I still get 5. Okay? All right. Sarah wants to use shadows to measure the height of a school. Sarah is 5 feet tall and casts a shadow 3 feet long. If the school casts a shadow that's 27 feet long, how tall is the school? So similar to last week when we did this with Pythagorean theorem, if you have a long, word problem with no picture, the first thing I would do is draw it. All right. All right. So we have Sarah. There she is. And she is 5 feet tall. And she has a shadow that's 3 feet. And now we've got the school cast a shadow that's 27 feet long. How tall is the school? Can you guys set up a proportion using this now? I hope so. It's just basically I'm creating similar what? What shape am I actually making here? Everyone say triangles? Hopefully so. So 5 and 3, x, and 27. Or 5 goes with x, and 3 goes with 27. Doesn't matter which one. So this would be times 9, which is 45. So the question says, how tall is the school? 45 feet tall. All right, guys, on the back, why don't you guys just do number 1 and then stop. Pause the video. All right, guys, so hopefully you marked up number 1 similarly to me. And I did my proportion, 12 over unknown equals 5 over 4. And the relationship here from 5 to 4 is divide by 1.25, which you would apply also to the 12. There are other methods to solving that proportion if you didn't do it exactly like I did. And hopefully, if you're having questions, you can pause the video right now and go over other ways to solve that, okay? Number 2 says the triangles below are similar. Determine the missing side measures. And I put a note here. How do we know which side or angle corresponds with what when there's no congruent statement? The congruent statement, you guys, is this right here. Rectangle ABCD is similar to WXYZ. That's the congruent statement. But notice on number 2 that they don't have that. So how can you know what goes with what? Hopefully someone's saying, you look at the marks. Like there's the 1, and these are 2, and these have 3. I know they're tiny, tiny, tiny on my paper, so they probably are on yours too. Okay? But using that, then you can find the missing side. So again, x corresponds, because it's between 2 and 3, to the 15. And I can pick any other number. If I pick 4, then I can pick 6. Or if I had picked 8, then I would pick 12. Okay? Either way, I can simplify here and then multiply by 5. So x equals 10. All right? All right. So how about you guys do 3 through 7 with a partner? 3 through 7 with a partner, and you'll need to pause the video. Don't forget on 5 through 7, when there is no picture, you're going to want to show a picture. Oh, I'm sorry, 7 does have a picture. So 5 and 6, you'll want to draw a picture. Don't forget to pause the video. Okay, let's go over the answers. So for number 3, you should have got x equals 9. Number 4, x equals 2. Number 5, x equals 2.8. Let's pause here for any questions. 6, I got x equals 36 feet. And 7, x equals 3.75. Again, pause here for any questions. All right, guys, for the rest of the time, I want you to work on this maze. You will need to obviously show work on a separate sheet of paper since there's no space here to do that. The key is on the next slide. As a reminder, your Canvas quiz is due tonight by 11:59 p.m. Please, please, please don't forget to do it. And I will see you guys all on Monday.